Nerd out here going over the champion stage pick'ems with our special guest here, sprayxd, head coach of ATK. What's up, Spray?
Doing good-ish.
You
Uh,
sure? You sure?
we'll talk about it. We'll talk about
Okay,
it.
okay.
Don't worry about it.
So first off, to recap, we're gonna go over our legend stage pick'ems. I was able to get 5 out of the 9, and all you need is 5. So Navi, Heroic, Mouse, Outsiders, Inferior. My 3-0 was Team Spirit. I had a good feeling they had a chance to go through. They did go into the 1-0 game against Furia and threw a pretty big lead.
Yeah,
So they had a good shot of going 3-0 for me. Big, they played pretty well with a stand-in, and that
decently
first
well. Yeah.
that first game depended on who was gonna get 0-3, but it
Oh
didn't
yeah.
really matter as we saw Sprout beat NIP. But FaZe, man, FaZe and Vitality, what the hell?
Uh, I don't know. My
Well,
pickems are ruined.
I didn't believe in Vitality from the get go, right?
I didn't believe
Yeah,
that
I
Fade
didn't.
was gonna go to 03.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And
That
Vitality
that
lose to
that
Ant.
phase 0-3 is the biggest shock.
Yeah,
Okay,
I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know what's
Um,
happening.
but yeah, let's take a look at your pickums real quick.
Put NIPS 3-0. Nice. Didn't happen, obviously. They
Uh-huh.
went 03 and Big is in 03, so obviously those ones are kind of scuffed. Now, if FaZe did play as they were supposed to play, I probably had enough points, but
Mm-hmm.
FaZe bottomed out. Navi pretty comfortably, I'd say. Like the last couple of matches, they played pretty good. Spirit, very close match against Liquid, but I think that Liquid should have went through in the against the Outsiders, in the Outsiders match as well. So I think that I mean, they kind of choked there, in my opinion, and Outsiders played well. And then I had Miles, obviously, Vitality and Outsiders. Vitality also lost to Ants. I'd say it's an upset, unexpected loss. I think they should have comfortably beaten them or maybe even like qualified, but you can't bet against Zaibu. That's the problem.
Yeah, true. And Ents definitely had the last laugh there, seeing like they
Oh,
beat their
with
former
Spink. Yeah,
teammate Spinks.
yeah,
So,
definitely. Yeah,
all right. So you got 4 out of the 5, and a lot of people are saying gold looks better than diamond, right? Over to the champion stage where 8 teams qualified for the playoffs. We have Outsiders, Fnatic, Mouse, Cloud9, Team Spirit, Heroic, Furia, and Navi. So let's just go ahead and start from the top and we work our way towards the bottom. All right.
right.
So first matchup is Outsiders and Fnatic. I'll cover quickly about Outsiders and you can do Fnatic. All right.
Yeah,
So the storyline behind Outsiders, right? James taking on and leading a new roster with Buster and Yakinder, without Buster and Yakinder in place for Norbert and Fame, and they are able to get back to the champion stage, which is pretty very impressive. Everyone everyone knows their play style, and it's still hard to stop it, right?
Devil also playing like the new additions have been playing
Yeah,
super well.
yeah, definitely. Like we've seen a couple games where Fame just popped out,
Oh
like
yeah,
he's like
Pain
like he's
was.
got almost like 30 bombs.
Yeah,
So that's the storyline with Outsiders. James leading the way with their play style, and they had a pretty comfortable way of getting here too. So,
yeah,
what
I'd
about
say so as
Fnatic,
well.
man?
See, I didn't believe in them that much, but obviously they showed that they're like a force to be reckoned with, I'd say. But I think that they're still a very young team, and I
Mm-hmm.
think for the style that outsiders play, they stand a bit less of a chance to beat them. Obviously, they're a bit more unpredictable. Their IGL is fairly new, so maybe like new tricks up the sleeve. They have showed very, very good results throughout the challenger stage and the legend stage, but I think that when it gets to the micro game, which is outsiders game basically, right? They're
Yeah.
tiring you, making you uncomfortable, and just want to push places and stuff like that. And that's where the Fnatic inexperience, in my opinion, will kind of come through, and outsiders will end on top.
Yeah, so this is Fnatic's last time they actually made the playoffs was when C9 won the last major.
Yeah,
So it's been quite a drought for them.
Boston 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
Yeah, 2018.
one shout out I want to give is Fashar. He definitely stepped up during this
Oh yeah,
phase. Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
And then
They've all been playing well, but
yeah.
I think that's just outsiders, right? Their game is so tiring for a team
Yeah.
that you just yeah.
So I think the way to beat outsiders is if I was coaching Fnatic is like like for on their T side, they wait
Mhm.
out a bit just to make sure like you're not pushing, you're not doing anything crazy on your
Yeah,
CT side, right? So mid round they're grouping up together, like mid to late round. You need to find a timing where you can get info, like a push at like a mid round,
Yeah.
and then you get that info, and then you can properly rotate. So I know I mean
It's
I know
easy to
teams.
say,
I
hard
know
to
it's
be
easy.
done. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, right? It's easy to say, but yeah, it's hard to execute against them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. Outsiders have been playing really well, and they actually played Fnatic in the challenger stage, and they 2-0'd them,
Yeah. They did.
and Fnatic picked our pass, and they got 15-0'd.
I remember that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
16-1 final score,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I see outsiders 2-0ing Fnatic here.
Yeah.
So
I'd say
uh
that as well.
next up is Mouse Cloud9, and I'll let you take the way with Mouse here.
Oof, no. So I'd say that they're kind of the surprise of the tournament, in my opinion. Like
Mhm.
throughout the Legends and the Challenger stage, and maybe even the match against Cloud9 now. But I think that again, the move they made, bringing the young players right from the academy roster to the main roster, Cyclone obviously done a really good job as a coach, and Dexter as an IGL, they both worked very well. I think that the system got them far, but again, they're still kind of like Fnatic. They're a young team, but the difference is obviously they have younger players than Fnatic has, as well as those younger players shoot a bit harder, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Stershin is Israeli, my boy is there, but
Uh-huh.
we can't really like count on them taking on Cloud9, especially when we saw Cloud9 like shifting a gear
Yep.
after that challenger stage. So I'd say like Miles is pretty much that team that we should look for, right?
Uh-huh.
I think in the future events, maybe even the future major, they have a really good opportunity to even go all the way because their development has only been upwards from now.
Yeah, definitely. Mouse, I'm very shocked that they made it,
Yeah.
but I'm still not I'm not super surprised because individually they're really good. Like when I watch them, they're
Everyone,
individually good. Like
yeah.
tactically and team wise, they don't impress me, but individually they're good, right?
But they're playing to their strengths as a team.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
shows.
And then Daddy Dexter, oh my god, he popped off against
He
Ents on
popped
map
off, yeah.
3. He saved my Pickem, so um congrats to Mouse
Thank you,
moving.
Dexter.
But Cloud9, holy cow, where did they come from? From going down 0-2 challengers, losing to the likes of Greyhound, and almost getting knocked out 0-2 by Imperial, to 3-0ing the Legend stage, beating the likes of FaZe, Na'Vi, and then 2-0ing Heroic. Like that run,
Heroic also looked super good in this
yeah,
event.
that run is insane, and that's behind Nafni and Axel showing up.
Yeah,
Like they didn't show up
100%.
in the challenger stage. It was a Shiro show. But
Yeah.
Axel and Nafni, especially Nafni, individually wise, like holy cow, he came to play. And
Nafani stepped it up.
yeah, they're definitely the favorites, like in current form, out of all these teams to make to be the champs, right?
Definitely, yeah.
And matchup wise against Mouse, I definitely see them 2-0ing. I think Mouse will pick Inferno, which is Cloud.
I'd say maybe a 2-1.
Yeah.
Honestly, like depending on how Maz will show up, right? If
Yeah,
individually
definitely.
are good,
They
it
could
could
take
be a 2-1.
Inferno because
Yeah.
like that's Cloud9's weakest map outside of
Yeah.
permaban nuke.
And
But
that's a good Maz map as well.
yeah, and then if it goes to map 3, Mirage, that's probably that's the decider in my opinion, and both teams are pretty
Cloud9.
good on it. Mouse could have a chance, but I'm gonna take the favorites here, C9.
Maybe a surprise veto as well. Who knows?
Okay, we'll talk about that later here.
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
So we got next up Team Spirit and then Heroic. All right. So speaking of Heroic, do you want to tell us about Heroic since you said they had a good showing?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly wrote them off before the event. I thought that they're not as good with Yabi.
Mhm.
Obviously they showed me wrong. They proved me
Yep.
wrong. They played pretty damn well, like near perfect in my opinion even. They only had that bump against Cloud9, which we already touched up on.
Yeah.
Other than that, they've had a really good run. They beat all the teams fairly comfortably as well, and showed that just like KDN is basically the second best IGL in Denmark, right after Kerrigan.
Yeah. And then on the opposite end, we had Team Spirit, a very young team with the lead of Chopper. And Team Spirit, they were my 3-0 pick, so I definitely had a lot of belief in them to get 3-0, right? So Wonderful, is he 17? Well, he's really young and he's playing.
Yeah, I think he's either
Dude,
just turned 18 or something.
What are they feeding these CIS oppers? Like He's amazing. And then Patsy,
Uh,
Siren stepping up, like holy cow, Team Spirit is good.
yeah, they are.
Like, but when it comes to heroic, man, I just like their playstyle way too much.
Yeah.
Like I like the way Cadian calls too. It's very unorthodox. Like when I was watching the Liquid
100%.
match against when they played Liquid on Overpass, like mid round, Cadian called his two A players to come over, and they had 5 towards B. Like
Yeah, they
ran,
just 5-man
like
this,
yeah. Did you
5-man
see
that.
like random? Like he does like random
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's just like, man,
stacking on
no,
CT
yeah, no other
sides.
teams do that. Like,
Yeah.
but
Well, he
yeah.
reads the game very well.
hmm But I'm gonna have heroic taking this over Team
Same one
Spirit.
with me.
This was hard to pick. Honestly, I feel like Team Spirit could beat heroic, but
Okay. They could.
yeah,
They
they
definitely
could.
could.
Yeah,
But I think that Heroic got this, in my opinion.
yeah.
Don't listen to me, Gold Coiner here.
All right. So next up, Furia and Navi. I'll touch up on Navi, and then you could touch up on Furia. All right.
All right.
Oh man, Navi. They came
First of all,
in.
let's talk about the match, though. The match. It's a grand final match that we have in the
Oh,
quarters.
dude, it's insane. I'm so sad that we have this matchup right away.
Yeah, that actually, like,
Yeah.
I think, yeah,
It,
I just genuinely think this match is gonna
this could
generate
this
so
could
much
be the
traction.
best match out of all these matches.
Definitely,
Yeah, you're right
100%.
about the grand finale. Like,
Yeah,
but man, Navi, like they didn't impress me, but at the end of the day, they still made it.
yeah.
Like they beat who did they beat first? Vitality, right?
They beat
But
Vitality. Yeah.
they had a lead.
No. They lost to Vitality.
No, they beat Vitality. They
You sure?
lost. Yeah, they lost to Cloud9, which they played the second
Oh,
game.
true.
They had a big they had not a big lead, but it was like 12-7. They threw that game, right?
Yeah.
They had a big lead against Liquid 12-3.
Yeah.
They threw that. Like so that going back to the Vitality game, they had a lead there, I think. No, or they came back. I don't know, but like no, they had a lead. They couldn't they're not able to close out games right now, which could be a
Yeah.
problem, but I hope they're able to fix that. But I just don't see Furia beating Navi. The only way I see so if Navi hasn't quote unquote practicing Vertigo, if they pull a phase and ban something else and play for it.
Yeah.
But I think Navi, like I hope Simple deserves another major. I hope like
He deserves one,
this.
for sure.
Like seeing like FaZe getting kicked out, like and Vitality not in here, like this sets the ropes for Navi to win it.
I
That's the
mean,
storyline for
Vitality
Navi.
not in.
Yeah,
FaZe not in.
yeah,
Liquid not in.
yeah. Like Navi, this is yours. Like you have, like if you
Yeah.
can play to your potential, easy run.
Yeah.
So tell me
100%.
about Furia, man. How's like what's
Oof.
give me your sign that Furia is gonna beat Navi. Like what?
First of all, we have to talk about the crowd buff. Let's
Okay.
talk about that one. I mean, obviously, Brazilians love Counter Strike, they love Navi, but it's Furia, right? It's their national team basically, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that Furia honestly like they have an edge because we saw like Caserado, we saw Yuri, we saw Art, we saw everyone feeding off that energy into a good way, right? Every match they had on stage, which basically all their matches, but every match they had on stage was actually like ranks above what they usually perform individually,
Yeah.
just because they feed off of that energy. Yuri has been magnificent throughout the event. I think tactically, obviously, like no one knows what the hell they're doing, right? Like one
Mm-hmm.
round, it looks like they're calling a face up pug, but it works for them, and obviously
Yeah.
they have his strats and whatever it is. So it's very hard to predict. With main thing for me with the crowd behind Furia against Navi, which is a major thing if you think about it, because obviously it's a loud arena, right? It's a very loud arena. And if they can keep their individual performance up, I can very well see even a 2-0 against Navi.
Oh wow. Yeah, I could definitely see like they have to snowball in order to beat
Oh yeah,
Navi for sure.
definitely.
For sure. And
Yeah.
but I don't think it's gonna happen. So we'll go over my picks first, and then we'll go over your picks after.
Yeah.
But I have Navi going through, right? I think Simple will show up and carry Navi through the environment that they're about to face.
See, I can see that happening.
Yeah.
I can actually see that happening.
He's gonna strive off of that. Now
Probably.
my problem with Furia, it's not their fault, but they haven't played anybody good, right?
Yeah,
they
that's
just
true.
they beat who they had to beat, and it wasn't impressive, right? It's not their fault, right? So Ents, Spirit, and Big, right? It's not like the likes of like Navi or like
Vitality,
yeah, exactly, like those teams. Like It's not their fault, but they just haven't proved enough to me yet.
Okay, no, understandable.
Yeah. All right, so I'll finish this out. Actually, yeah, I'll finish this out here. So
Yeah.
Outsiders against Cloud9. Man, they had like this is gonna be a slow game.
We're gonna fall asleep on the wheel.
Yeah. This is gonna be a slow
Definitely.
game. But at the end of the day, I just think that the like how Cloud9 is playing, if they can continue how they're playing, it's hard to stop them,
Yeah.
right? And I'm gonna have them go through. Okay. On the
Right.
opposite end, Heroic against Navi. They whenever these two teams play, it's always close. It's always
That's
close.
true. That's very true.
Yeah. But for me, I still have my diamond in place here. I'm gonna play it really safe. Navi over
Wait,
Heroic.
all I'm gonna say, this major hasn't been safe. Don't play it safe.
Okay, but I'm still playing my odds. I know.
Okay. Okay.
And then
That's fair.
Navi against C9 Grand Finals, right? For my pick'ems here for the champion stage. I think that although C9 is playing really well, I think Navi is gonna clinch it, right?
Yes, match can't predict, but yeah, I'd agree so as well.
Yeah.
It's hard to
In the
predict the
grand
CIS versus the
finals,
CIS match.
I hope they're able, if Navi get huge leads again, I hope they're able to close it. So
Yeah.
locking in my picks, Navi grand final, simple MVP. I hope Bit steps up. Navi really need
Yeah.
Bit to step up, and simple second major. So that's my pick'ems. Let's see yours.
Very, very different. Not different. I'd say the top part is similar, right? The top part we
Yeah,
have the
we
same
yeah
pick
we don't have to
basically.
talk about
Yeah, the top part we don't have to talk
talk to
about
me
it, but
about the bottom.
bottom one, right? So
Yeah.
Heroic, we both agreed on that one.
Yep.
Furia versus Navi. I already talked about why I think Furia can beat them, and you know what? Like, since let's talk about this. I can't really get a gold coin. No, I'm gonna risk my chances, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, this major has been unpredictable, so I'm just gonna
Sure.
risk it, right? I'm gonna say
Yeah.
like Furia. I want to see Furia in the final. Right, that's number one. So I'm gonna give it to Furia. I'm gonna give that match to Furia, especially like because I said that they can use the crowd to their advantage. I think
Uh-huh.
that they're gonna do that, and I think that simple. I can see simple carrying,
Yeah.
but I can see other people shutting off as well. So it's for me it's a 50-50. I'm
Mhm.
just gonna take my chances with Furia. Now Furia versus Heroic. This match is actually an interesting one because Heroic have been playing well,
Mhm.
but Furia style against Heroic style.
That's crazy.
That
Dude,
that is a
that's like W like across the map. Like kind
Yeah,
of
you
it's
you
like
don't know
what the
what's gonna
that's
happen.
chaos.
That's literally
That's
chaos, and
fireworks all over. Yeah.
I just think that art in situations, in chaotic situations against teams that play
Yeah.
chaotic,
Mhm.
they always come on top, right? Like most of the time, they come on top at least. When there's a chaotic situation, they would win the round. That's what they're known for. So
Uh-huh.
I would say if it's heroic and Furia, I'm pretty sure you would do the same. You would put Furia to go through.
Yeah, I'll
If
go
you
with
would,
yeah, I would go with Furia over Heroic.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then the final, I mean, Furia against Cloud9. That final would be crazy.
Oh
Just
yeah,
honestly,
Furia
the
finals.
atmosphere,
Yo, dude.
Furia finals will be crazy. The thing is, we're gonna talk about style clashes as well. I
Yep.
think Cloud9 turned it up individually, like everyone, and they're playing really well as a team, and they're like a very good old machine, right? They're playing super well when they're good, and that's the thing. Like when they're on their top, I think that they can be even the best team in the world. When they're playing like they played like in the Legend stage, not the Challenger stage, because the Legend stage we saw a different Cloud9, right?
Mhm.
If they are able to maintain that level, I think against Furia, that's a style that's just gonna shut them off, and I think that will be a pretty comfortable win for Cloud9. I think that the final will be a 2-0, and I don't think it will be that close as well.
Wow. All right. So you have C9 winning it, and then I have
Yeah,
Navi winning it. Now, if Team Liquid made it, you remember what you said in the last episode?
yeah, I do. I still think so. Depending on the seeding, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
but I still think like I'm looking at the list right now. Like let's say they're they'll be instead of Spirit now, right? I think they can beat Heroic, right? I think they
yeah,
can beat Furia. I think they can beat Cloud9. I think that their style matches very well against top teams. But they
yeah.
had to play Spirit, which is not a top team, and that's when their methodical style kind of fails.
Yes, just let everybody know watching that Spray said that if Team Spirit, I mean, if Liquid made playoffs, he would have had them through to the champions. So, All right, so that's our pick'ems for the champion stage. Let us know in the comments what you think, and make sure to follow Spray on Twitter. And I appreciate him taking the
Thank you.
time to make this video with
Appreciate it.
me. Good luck on your pick'ems.
Thank you. You
Peace.
too. Gold corner.